I've been associated with the GalGael since it started at the Pollock Free State. 8 years maybe as a volunteer and 5 years as a full-time employee. And we've had a few people, we had a leather worker, a jewellery maker, a basket weaver and a few other people. We get a couple of colleges and things like that, and a few people have had funding from Scotland Unlimited, so some of them have moved on and started up their own wee crafts businesses and things, you know.
The support worker I had told me about GalGael and we arranged for a visit. Got shown round and I signed up on the day of the visit. Everything about it was just really positive, you know. Because I've been unemployed for so long and I had just got really quite exhausted going for interviews and not getting jobs, that I wasn't really I was at the stage where I wasn't really hoping for much other than to get outside my front door, you know, and to sleep at night rather than during the day. And I had been wanting to do something using my hands because I was indoors all the time. I'd like to do a course in carpentry.
When we first moved in there, we were like, oh, this is fantastic, look at this. You know, we couldn't have wished for better. And then when you start looking back at some of the conditions that you were working in, yeah, you start to realise that it's a total privilege being here. We've got a machine shop, we've got some wood turning, we've got a metalwork area, we've got a small woodworking area, we've got a training area, we've got a boat building area. It's all good stuff, aye.
The boat gets used for various things. It's a very old designer boat. It's a Scottish Hebridean galley, which is in Gaelic is called a birling. And these boats were outlawed in 1607. They were actually a development of the Viking North ship. The first Lord of the Isles, Somerled, redesigned the longship and started having naval victories against the Vikings. This is the first one, our boat's the first one to be built in Scotland for hundreds of years. So we see it as a bit of an icon of the history of Scotland, but it also takes people on not only literal journeys but symbolic journeys. It takes them back to the heartlands of Scotland and where their families might have came from originally.
Well, they're all wooden boats. Usually we use Stockholm tar, pine tar. That's a traditional method of preserving the wood. So she'll be coming out hopefully this week. So it's general maintenance to make sure nothing's worn too excessive to cause any danger. We just replace. It's usually like in a sanding, sandpaper, sand it down. A few bodies here. The more hands the quicker it is. 2 or 3 full days of 4 or 5 bodies. It's pleasure. Everything's a pleasure, isn't it?
We're going to be looking at our rural vision, we call it. We've done a lot of thinking about how the rural situation and the urban situation complement each other, and hopefully we can bring about the establishing of small communities, a rural skill centre, get some areas for our boats up north. That way we can hopefully create jobs, maybe do even some house building, and hopefully we'll be bringing some skills and resources into the rural setting as well.
Secured a tenancy agreement with Forest Commission Scotland last March. I have a lease for a 10-year period with the option to renew for a further 10 years if you so wish. When both parties agree on, the legalities or the ins and outs or whatever. Everything's very amicable and very straightforward. We have a farmhouse, we have a buyer, we have an extension adjacent to the house. It's a dairy, an old dairy and a garage. The land itself is 7.5 acre, of which we've probably fenced about 7 acre of it for the purposes of developing into a native tree nursery and just a kind of nature reserve. Help to bring back the natural habitat to a part of Scotland that was heavily wooded and heavily, dependent on native forest cover for wildlife, flora and fauna, etc. We don't have a real set time on it. other than the fact that we've actually got a couple of trees to plant in and another couple of trees along the road that we're going to bring in. But basically what we'll do is we'll leave it for a year or two to see what comes up first. The timescale is such that it will be generational in all intents and purposes. I'll not be here to see the results, the fruition, so to speak, because especially oak trees, they'll take at least 50, 100 years before they start to, grow to any kind of sense of maturity. So it's going to take a long time. There's so much to be done. I mean, we're chopping wood today, obviously, just to get some firewood prepped up for the next 6 to 18 months. But
tower block, and I can see views like this from a distance, but just to be right in the middle is great. And I've been doing a bit of writing while I've been here as well, whereas I just didn't have the heart to lift my pencil before. I've written a 13-page letter to my dad and my stepmum in Essex while Seamus and Lenny were away getting, ladders and stuff today. So that's something that I wasn't expecting to do. I just don't want to go back to the city.
We're going to do virtually everything. Within reason, we're going to rip a lot of the old stuff out, the old plaster, old lath and plaster. We're going to be upgrading it, making it fit for purpose, making it habitable, making it quite pleasant. We've spent a lot of time and effort and a lot of resources and money buying in the materials, the raw materials, the paint, the decorating equipment, a lot of tools, equipment, etc., etc. So we're going to make it like a functional, pleasant bunkhouse for people to come and enjoy. It's work in progress. Everything you see here is work in progress. It's largely due to the fact that there's a limited amount of manpower at the minute I can draw on. But working on it steadily every month and getting a wee bit done. But as things start to develop, we'll be accelerating, I would suspect, and getting a lot more work done, incorporating people from governing Glasgow, but also people from Oban and the wider Loch or GalGael area. We already have a network of associates and friends that are starting to look at other groups to come here to participate. So it's going to take a bit of time, but it'll be worth it in the end.